Hello guys, I'm Ken. Today we are going to introduce a systems about the human biology which is called the respiratory system. So before we're going to figure out how this is going to work, like the systems, we're going to classify some components could involve into these topics. So what actually is respiration is? So respiration is a very biological term indeed, but generally speaking, it actually is breathing. So in this components, it's exceptionally easy for us to classify because we mainly divide into inhale and exhale. So inhale would be the breath comes in like this, and exhalation. So that we call respiration. So now I want you to try this with me. So just place a finger which nears to your nose, and then remember about this. Use your nose to exhale the air. What would you feel? So some people will say like, oh, actually I feel it's a bit warm about this. So I was confused why would this happen? So I will going to break down by this. So actually we have to understand about this. Despite the nose probably looks normal, we got a external like the outer nose right there, but the inside is actually full of the blood vessel that helps you to warming the inhale air. So the functions of this is actually would help to prevent about the cooling of the airway, would help to like mitigate the irritations of the air when it's breathed in. So we see that if we don't have this structure, we don't have that amount of blood vessel, it probably will get irritations to our like airway. We will get like stimulation on it. We will probably get cough or something. So it is definitely worth for us to get this structure. So in case we are going to deep dive into the structure, we mainly divide into two main components, which is the upper respiratory tract and the lower respiratory tract. It's really simple for us to classify because it could be really simply to like classify by some components involved in. So in case we talk about the upper respiratory tract, we got the nasal cavity, which is about the nose compartment and the mouth, and also we got the throat right here. And on the other hand, we got the lower respiratory tract, which actually is involving the trachea, we involve the bronchioles, and eventually we got the alveolus. That portion is definitely important. So we are now going to deep dive step by step. So we're going to introduce about the nasal cavity and the mouth first. So nasal cavity, as I mentioned before, is the inner environment of the nose, and the mouth is actually the place where the air comes into our airways. And what its functions, as I mentioned before, would help to warming the inhaled air. On the other hand, it will also help to moisture the inhaled air, would help to prevent about any irritations. And on the other hand, the place which connect the nasal cavity and the mouth is actually the throat, which in this place would divide into two main parts. The part which goes into stomachs and lungs respectively. So we're going to divide the place go into the lung. So a third component, we got the trachea. The trachea is actually like a ventilator pipe because it actually surrounded by some cartilage on there, and it will soon directly to the lung. So we got other components, which is bronchi. Bronchi would divide it into two main parts to each lungs compartment. So when the bronchi getting narrowed down, it would get into the bronchioles, and bronchioles is actually is a component we connected to the alveolus. So alveolus, how does it could be really important is because of it is the primary site of the gas exchange, and Wednesday it actually look like a grate, yeah. Yes. So we usually describe the shapes as grate-like structures. So it's a place for us to like proceeding some gas exchange. So this is the end of our lecture. Hope you will like it. Thank you.